Welcome to the Book Party Podcast.
Join us as we journey into the world of books with Michael T.
Prepare to be captivated by engaging interviews, insightful discussions, and fascinating stories. You'll discover new adventures and gain insight into the creative process of the authors themselves as they share their struggles and accomplishments. Now let's hear from Michael T.
This is Michael T., and I thank you for being with us this morning. To all our listeners, I would ask that you go to bookpartypodcast.com. That's bookpartypodcast.com. Hit that subscribe tab on the top, then go down to the icon of your choice where you can find us on one of those favorite platforms. Download, and you can follow us there. And don't forget to sign up for one of our newsletters and get the latest information for our upcoming shows. At this point, I want to introduce Sonia Discher. Sonia moved from England to Canada in 1969. After schooling, she spent most of her career as a project control coordinator, scheduling and monitoring engineering jobs across the Chalk River Nuclear Laboratory site. Sonia met Steve in grade 7 and started dating when she turned 16. She wasn't allowed to date till she was 16, so her first and only boyfriend. She has been told she has a bubbly personality with an infectious laugh and makes friends easily. She loves to be around family and friends and meet new people. So Sonia, why don't you take it from here, fill in some of the blanks a bit, and just tell our listeners about yourself.
Okay. Yes, Steve and I met early in grade 7, and then we went to high school together, started dating in high school. Right out of high school, we got married. Steve joined the military, so we were in a few different places. I never thought about being an author until he got sick. So after he was diagnosed, I looked after him. I researched a lot of things. And after he passed away, I wrote the book to help other people. I love camping. We used to camp with our children, and now I still continue to camp. I live in Ontario, but in the winters, I've started going down to Arizona, which I love. And I wasn't sure about writing a book, but people kept saying, do it. And I'm glad I did. I've had such wonderful reviews on it, and it feels like it was right. So now when I fly down to Arizona, I donate a book every airplane ride and ask the hostess to pick a random seat and give out a book. So it's amazing. Out of every book that I've given out, 90% of the people that person has picked randomly has just had somebody diagnosed with either dementia or Alzheimer's. So it makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing.
Okay. Well, you say you're an indie author, right?
Well, I didn't publish it myself. I went through a publisher, Talwell Publishing. They're in British Columbia, and they took care of all the editing and formatting and the cover page and distribution and got it out all over the place. So it was a lot easier.
The cover.
Yeah, they did the cover as well.
So
they asked, I wrote the book, yes. They asked me what I wanted on the cover, and I had seen a picture of a tree with a face in it that the brain was going all funny. So I mentioned that to them, and they came up with the tree that looks like a brain. And I asked for leaves to be falling from it to show that the brain was deteriorating, and my tears as well. And I had them put little butterflies in because I think Steve sends me butterflies.
Well, yes. Okay. So when you wrote this book, take us to a point in time of what you would consider to be your worst author moment, and tell us that story. And maybe we can look at lessons learned.
Okay, I really didn't have a worst moment. What held me back was, do I really need to write this book? I wanted to write it to help people because we had nowhere to go when he got diagnosed. No resources. All I was told was he's going to die within 6 years. And so I had to keep researching everything. So it was a learn as I go. So I put down in the book different challenges that we met and how we dealt with them. And as I was looking at it, I kept thinking, am I going to publish it? And then I thought, well, even if I don't publish it, it was therapy for me writing it down. But once I got it published, once I got to the end of it and I had a couple of people that were close to me read it, they were pushing me, you have to do this, you have to put it out there. One person, their wife had Alzheimer's, so he knew what I was going through and gave me great feedback. Another friend of mine, her husband had cancer and it had gone to his brain, so she was experiencing a lot of similar things, and both of them cried as they were reading it and said, yeah, you need to get this out, because they could relate to everything I had put in there. So that was really the only doubt was in my mind, whether I could do it. And I did. I'm so proud of doing it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about an epiphany moment, a wow moment. Take us to a point in time of an incredible light went off in the head moment. I mean, you could have been doing anything, from making dinner to driving to getting ready to go to bed. Just all of a sudden have an epiphany. I got to grab a pen and paper. I got to write this down. Just all of a sudden an incredible epiphany. Wow, I got to do this. You ever have that?
I used to have that quite often at night and jump out of bed and write something down, because something else would come to me that had happened that I hadn't thought about that needed to be in there. The one thing that I found was crazy was I just made an outline of different topics to put in the book. And every time I sat down at the computer, it just flowed. I could sit there for an hour or 2 hours. All the memories just kept coming out. And even after I published it, I kept trying to think, do I want to put this in there? Do I want to leave it out? I don't want to bore people with all the details. But after I put it out, I wish I had put more in, because I kept thinking of more things and that it would help. So I've been doing some talks, and I've been including those things. One of the things that I found at the beginning was I asked somebody, why can they think about something that happened years and years ago and can't remember what happened today? And they compared it to an onion. So if you take an onion, the outer layers peel off really easily when you're peeling the onion, and that's your recent memories. As you get closer to the center of the onion, it's harder to peel them apart without ripping them. And those are the memories from a long ago. They stay with you. And it made a lot of sense. And when I was doing a talk recently in Arizona, one of the men that came into the Alzheimer's support group meeting that I helped facilitate, his wife had disappeared one night. He woke up, she wasn't there. And 4 hours later, he got her back. The security people in our gated community picked her up. She didn't know her name. They called the sheriff, and they found him 4 hours later and said, here's your wife, and this is how we found her. She didn't know her name, but she knew her social security number. And that just amazes me. So the aha moment for me is I can do it, and I need to do it. And yes, that's got to be in there, and people need to know how to cope with that. So
yeah, I go into the next room myself, and I can't remember why I went there.
exactly, it's a fine line between something's wrong with that person or it's normal, because I go downstairs and think, what did I come down here for? So you can't just turn around every time somebody forgets something and say this person's got something wrong with them. It's a fine line.
I can remember my padlock combinations from boot camp.
Yeah.
You know,
It's amazing how the brain works.
You know, but I can't remember why I went into the next room. I'll get in there and think, why did I come in here? And it
Right.
was just seconds before that I got up to go in there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But you think of something else and your mind goes off on that tangent.
Yeah. Okay. Again, this is Michael T. Please go to bookpartypodcast.com. That's bookpartypodcast.com. Hit that subscribe tab. Go down and choose your favorite platform where you can follow us. And if you enjoy our show, don't hesitate to leave a review. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter to get the latest information on our upcoming shows. Okay, Sonia, we are now going to go into the lightning round. I've got 4 pointed questions for 4 pointed answers.
Okay.
What was holding you back from becoming an author in the first place?
I never even thought about being an author. Everybody says I should write a book about that. Like if you get kids that say funny things or do weird things, you think I should write a book about the things that I've gone through. I never thought about that until I experienced Steve getting sick and not knowing what to do and not knowing where to go. And I thought, I have to let other people know what we went through and how we dealt with it to help them.
Okay, what was the best advice you had ever received in your writing?
Do it. I kept saying that I was going to, and somebody said, do it. And then when I got it done, I thought, well, it was therapy for me. And they kept saying, no, publish it, do it. And live every day like today is your last.
Okay. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
I don't give up. I did lots of research. Every night I researched chemicals that Steve was exposed to in the military. And I was going to Veterans Affairs saying that these are what's caused his Alzheimer's. And I won my case. Perseverance and the research that I did and the help that I got from other people on what chemicals he did, I didn't give up. There's a lot of paperwork and it's easy to give up.
Okay, share an internet resource that you can share with our listeners for your writing.
Okay, well, if you go onto my website, soniadischer.com, and on the welcome page, if you scroll down, there's a link there, and it will show you what it's like for somebody that has Alzheimer's. A man had his mother come and live with him after she got Alzheimer's, and the newscaster, the ABC newscaster, went with him and experienced what it was like to be someone with Alzheimer's. They gear you up with the glasses and the headphones and the hands and the feet, and it was only 12 minutes. But if anybody's had somebody that's diagnosed or knows somebody that is diagnosed with dementia or whatever, it'll give you more compassion and understanding on what they're going through.
Okay, and that's on their website?
Yes, front page of my website.
Oh, okay.
And it's a YouTube video.
Okay, we are entering the grand finale. In the grand finale, what I want you to do is leave a parting piece of guidance, the best way that we and our listeners can connect with you, the best way to promote your book again, and we'll need a connection to your book, and of course, a website, any kind of platforms that you may have.
Yes.
And what a way to message you, a way to link your book if somebody wants to buy your book, and then just talk about your book.
Okay. So my book is available on many platforms: Indigo, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Kobo, and you can get those online, Amazon.com, or any of the other ones that I've just mentioned. You can contact me through my website, soniadischer.com. There's a contact page, and it'll go straight to my email. And if you read the book and you do like it, you can go on to my website as well, soniadischer.com, and leave a review. I really appreciate that. If you buy it through Amazon, you can leave a review on Amazon. It really helps out. With the book, it's called Dealing with Early Onset Alzheimer's, Love, Laughter, and Tears. And I talk about the different things that I tried to help Steve get better. My head knew that there was no cure, but my heart kept telling me to try. Maybe we'd have the magic combination. Who knows? And we tried all kinds of things. So in here, I go through what we tried, the different things that he would do, and how we combated them to relieve some of the frustration. Like putting your hand on their cheek when you're talking to them so that you get eye contact and you talk slowly. And it made a lot of difference. There's a lot of tips and tricks. He was military, and that stuck with him throughout everything. Even when I had to put him in a long-term care, I used one of his boss's names. I asked him if I could use his name, and I told the nurses there that if he's not doing what you want him to do, call him by Sergeant Discher and tell him that the boss is coming for a visit and we need to go and do something that they wanted him to do. Or he told us it's time to eat, we got to go to the mess. And then he would go in the dining room where he wasn't going to go before. So things from their past, it's really important. All the little things that I put in here is to help you dealing with things that might come up, and how you can relieve your frustration.
Well, that's great. So hold on just a little bit so I can see it better. Dealing with Early Onset Alzheimer's, Love, Laughter, and Tears. It's a great title of the book. So we will have all of these links when we put the book up for broadcasting. We'll have all these links up there for you. So check out this book, and especially check it out when it comes broadcast time. Sonia will tell you when that's going to be. Sonia, we thank you so much for being here with us today and opening up to us, and I'm sure our listeners appreciate this too.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael.
You betcha. It's an important step, for this kind of a book.
Can I give you a statistics? 7 years ago, the umbrella is dementia. 7 years ago, there was 70 diseases that can contribute to have dementia contribute to them. 7 years later, now, there's over 100 diseases under that umbrella.
That's something. Again, this is Michael T. Please go to bookpartypodcast.com. That's bookpartypodcast.com. Hit that subscribe tab, go down and choose your favorite platform where you can download and follow us. And if you enjoy our show, don't hesitate to leave a review. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter to get the latest information on our upcoming shows. We would like to give a shout out to iHeartRadio's Power Rhythmic Hits. Book Party Podcast is owned and powered by MTM Legacy Publishing, LLC. This is Michael T. signing off.
You must not miss our next episode as we delve into a world of inspiration, entertainment, and thought-provoking insights. Join Michael T. on the next Book Party Podcast and experience a new adventure, a new story, and a complete immersion into the world of Pages Unveiled, Chronicles of the Writing Journey.